the idea. Together, we are Marcus. Thanks for coming. Enjoy the show.
Hi, it's Baddy here. Still in the clink, as you can see from these bars. I'm still a jailbird after all these years. Unfortunately, they won't let me have my smokes either. But I'm gonna break out of this jail if it's the last thing I do, just like I promised at the end of the original killing spree. Now, you're probably wondering, why don't I just use my gun? And why did they even let me keep my gun? Well, you see, here's the answer to that really good question. These guns will work within the prison, so they work during daily life. So if someone comes into my cell room and tries to steal something from me, I can shoot them. Or they can shoot me. But they don't work to get out of this jail. As soon as you get close to the perimeter of the jail, they automatically won't fire. They've got some kind of fancy technology. So that's why I can't use my gun to escape, but I can use it to keep people away and to protect myself in this prison. Okay, everybody got the premise on that? That's going to be important when we get to the philosophy part. Here's philosopher Jeff McMahan's argument by analogy against the idea that guns make us safer. Premise 1. You admit that because of mental illness, violent tendencies, and carelessness, that arming prisoners would make them less safe than they are without guns and with guards. Note, with prison populations, we're quick to recognize the problems that might occur if they were armed. Some prisoners might be mentally ill, too violent, or too careless. Premise 2. But prison populations are like the population of the U.S. at large. Some non-imprisoned citizens are mentally ill, too violent, and too careless. Therefore, you should admit that having guns in American society does not make us safer than we would be without them. So in McMahan's argument, the idea is that if you say, well, you couldn't leave prisoners with these guns because they'd be too violent. McMahan says, well, but we have violent people in the United States population. You said, well, some people are crazy who are in prison. McMahan says, well, some people are crazy who are in the United States population. He thinks he can match you on that, and so what holds in one case holds with the other. But he thinks you'll admit that arming prisoners would be a bad idea, so he thinks that should lead you to conclude that having an armed population in the United States is a bad idea. Oh, nothing, officer. I'm just admiring my picture of Brad Pitt. Oh, the teaspoon cup? Well, it's just that he's so hot I can only take him 1 teaspoon at a time. How to object. In an argument by analogy, either reject premise 1 or make the case that there is a difference between the two things being compared that makes the conclusion about the one not true for the other. So, strategy 1 is to deny that P1 is false. Make the case that arming prisoners with guns would make them safer. Strategy 2, argue that there is some difference between the two cases, the case of a prison population and the population of the U.S., that makes it too dangerous in the prison case, but not too dangerous in the case of the United States. Now that copper's gone, let me show you what I'm really doing here. See, look, I dug a tunnel here to escape. I hid it behind the brass. Oh, forget it. You know the plot if you've seen Shawshank Redemption. All right, here I go through the tunnel. Whoa. Whoa. Remember, the disanalogy you find between the two cases cannot be that the prisoners would use guns for a jailbreak. This is because McMahan can still make his point if we factor that out. Imagine they are given high-tech guns that shut off if they get too close to the perimeter of the prison. While they are in it, though, the guns work just fine. They don't work to get out of this jail. The moral of this is, while the fact that prisoners want to get out of prison in a way that Americans don't want to get out of society is a difference, it is not a difference in the two cases that makes a difference. That is, it isn't a difference that is relevant to the point McMahan is making, for he can tweak the thought experiment to overcome that objection by making the guns not work for escape purposes. Oh, I made it. At the beach. Let's go to the beach. Let's go get... No, but anyway, in this week's discussion / writing, you'll try to explain what goes wrong with the argument, if anything. You try to come up with an objection just as an intellectual exercise, but, oh, hey, look who's here. It's Morgan Freeman.